Welcome to the show! You're out in Miami, maybe on the beach, maybe heading to brunch, and suddenly your skin decides this is the moment to act up. Redness, irritation, a flare-up, something new. And now you need a dermatologist, fast. But not blindly.
Yeah, because Miami gives you options. A lot of them. ScoreDoc compared 22 dermatology clinics in Miami, Florida, and narrowed the field to 3 that stood out in 2026 based on patient review patterns.
And the key phrase there is review patterns, not just one shiny star rating. Patients usually want 3 things at once: strong ratings, recent feedback, and comments that sound consistently positive instead of all over the place.
Exactly. ScoreDoc's analysis looked at reviews from the last 24 months and weighed average score, review volume, recency, and sentiment in written comments. The public-facing list here cites Google, Yelp, and Facebook as the 3 major platforms used for the report.
And that 24-month window matters. 2 years is short enough to feel current, but long enough to show whether a clinic is steady or just having a good month.
That's the part I always focus on: stability. A clinic with a high rating but barely any recent activity tells you less than people think. On the other hand, a clinic with a lot of fresh reviews gives you a better snapshot of what patients are experiencing now.
So if I'm a listener sorting through Miami dermatology options, I shouldn't just ask, who has the highest number? I should ask, how many people said it? How recently? And does the written sentiment hold up?
Yes, that's the sharper question. And one quick note, this kind of list helps you identify reputation trends. It does not measure medical competence directly. It's a starting point, not the whole decision.
Which honestly is why these reports are useful. They cut through the noise without pretending reviews are the only thing that matters. So let's get right to the 3 clinics that made the list. First up, Biscayne Dermatology. This one posted a 4.9 rating, 152 total reviews, 35 recent reviews, and 98.7% positive sentiment. That is a very clean profile.
The 98.7% is the number that jumps out at me. Not because sentiment alone decides anything, but because paired with 152 total reviews and 35 recent ones, it suggests the positive experience is not isolated. Patients specifically highlighted skin treatments, consultation quality, and provider communication.
Wait, 35 recent reviews on top of 152 total? That's enough current activity to feel relevant, but it's not just a tiny sample. So Biscayne looks strong on consistency, not just polish.
That's how I read it too. High rating, strong sentiment, and enough recent engagement to indicate patients are still actively weighing in.
Next is Choca Dermatology, Giovanna Choca. And this one is interesting because the rating is lower at 4.2, but the volume is bigger. 271 total reviews, 26 recent reviews, and 79% positive sentiment.
Yeah, and this is where people can get tripped up. A 4.2 can look less impressive next to a 4.9 or a 5. But 271 reviews is a lot more patient feedback than most clinics get. That bigger sample can tell you something important about durability.
And the 271 is the memorable number for me. That's the highest volume signal of the 3? Well, not quite. Second highest, because Buso is even higher. But 271 still means a lot of people took the time to leave feedback.
Right, and the written themes matter here. Patients frequently mentioned attentive care, detailed consultations, and satisfaction with treatment outcomes. So, even with a more moderate overall rating and 79% positive sentiment, the clinic still showed consistent, reliable feedback patterns across platforms.
Which is a good reminder that best reviewed doesn't always mean highest star rating. Sometimes it means a clinic has enough volume and enough steady trust to stay in the conversation.
Exactly. Volume can make the signal more believable, even when the score itself isn't the flashiest on the page.
And then there's Dr. Buso, Cosmetic Dermatology, which, frankly, comes in loud. A 5.0 rating, 308 total reviews, 93 recent reviews, and 99.4% positive sentiment.
93 recent reviews. That is the standout number in the whole list. Because now, you're not just looking at a strong historical reputation, you're seeing very active, very current patient participation.
93 recent reviews is huge. That's the kind of recency signal that tells a listener, whatever this experience is, people are talking about it right now.
And the review themes were specific. Positive experiences with cosmetic dermatology treatments, professional staff interactions, and the overall clinic experience. Add that to 308 total reviews and 99.4% positive sentiment, and you get a profile with strength in all three buckets: volume, recency, and consistency.
So if we separate the three by what stands out most, Biscayne looks especially strong on clean consistency. Choka stands out for reliable volume, even with a more moderate score. And Dr. Busso Cosmetic Dermatology looks strongest on the full combination, especially that 93 recent reviews.
That's a fair read. Biscayne Dermatology, 4.9, 152 total, 35 recent, 98.7% positive sentiment. Chioka Dermatology, Giovanna Chioka, 4.2, 271 total, 26 recent, 79% positive sentiment. Dr. Busso Cosmetic Dermatology, 5.0, 308 total, 93 recent, 99.4% positive sentiment.
And that's really the takeaway. Don't just chase the prettiest number. Look at how recent the feedback is, how much of it exists, and whether the tone stays steady across time.
Because when you're choosing dermatology care in a city with 22 clinics in the comparison set, clarity matters.
Those are the 3 Miami clinics that stood out in ScoreDoc's 2026 review analysis. Shortlist, strong signals, and a better place to start. Thanks for listening.